Welcome back, Dr. Clay Video Gaming. Today in Hero Wars Alliance, we're going to look at some dungeon tactics. What my dungeon looks like when I do it, things I think about as I go through the dungeon. I don't have it completely open to where we have unlimited access. I don't have an infinite dungeon opened. There are things there are times I can go really, really far, and there are times I do about 500. Okay, and so between the two, somewhere to me, it's good, right? Um, and so basically, what you want to do first, what I would recommend doing first, is leveling Sigurd and then Hyperion. That's what I would do first before I did anything else. Now from there, you want to start leveling Avalon, and to help start rounding out a healing team for the dungeon. So I would do Avalon. Now the level, I have fixed my dungeon based on a previous video. What you want to do is you want to get the nature, the grass, to be the highest. And one reason being is because Angus is really hard to heal up. He can be hard to heal up. Now, if you get Avalon where Avalon needs to be, Avalon can tank. I don't have Avalon there. I wish I did, but I don't. Okay, but you want the Nature Titans to be the strongest, and then you want the Water Titans to be the second strongest, and then the Fire Titans, can be third. It can be. Now some people switch that around. That's not how I have it leveled, and so this is how I decided to run it. Now from there, you want Araji to be leveled. You want Araji to be as close to max as possible with Ignis. You want him also to have some level to him, and so so it will work, because those are the only two you really need to have in order to win fire dungeon rooms. Now with that, there are times I do use Moloch, but he is a meat shield. If something was to happen, and I need and if I'm low on Raji, and I don't think that Raji will survive the room, I will put Moloch in there and let Moloch die. Just use him as a meat shield. But right now with my Titans, if Angus goes down, it's not going, and the Earth Titans are not going to win. Okay, that's just the way I have it leveled today. Not the best. I run an auto. A lot of people do not run auto. They run manual, and that is fine. I'm happy where I am. They're happy where they are. That is a-okay, because as we go forward, I don't have a problem with gold right now, and I don't always have all the time in the world in order to in order to play manual. So I only will play what I need to play, and that would be it, because that's just how I operate. I really like this game, but I cannot allow the game to take over real life. So I can I just play it the way I play it, and I move on from there. Now I'm not saying I'm not, because I'm not. What I'm saying is I'm not downplaying what anybody else does. I'm just play for the way I play, and that's the thing I like about Hero Wars and other games like this. The only real competition you have is with yourself. What it is that you are able and comfortable doing. That is what you should be doing. You shouldn't be doing anything else that would hinder what it is you want out of the game. So otherwise, Hero Wars does not become fun anymore. All right, so here's my first stop, and this is the amount of gold. I get 1,138,000. That, of course, that goes up a little bit every floor that you do that save. But that's the thing about Hero Wars. Go at your own pace, do what you want to do. If the guild that you're in is super competitive, that's fine. There's no problem with that, as long as they don't push you to not have fun in the game anymore. Then you just need to find somebody who will allow you to have fun and go at your own pace. See, like this, I think he can win out, but I can put those two in and make sure. So the next time, if I have a fire room before I get back to a healing room, that's when I would use the mole. But we have a healing room. I'm gonna put Angus down. I'll put Avalon back, and so this is my basic healing line. The reason I don't use Soleus is because she's not leveled. She's not leveled. Um, she probably is a better healer. I just don't have her leveled. Why? Because I didn't drop any money on the event to get anything, and so she's just not leveled. That's the truth. I just did not drop the money on it, and I was going on a trip anyway. So basically, and really, here's another thing. I know I can go further than 150. Your guild needs you to get at least 150 a day if you can, and but if you push further, the further you push in the dungeon, the more you're going to have to rely on luck versus skill. Until you get to the point where you can start winning battles and not worry about health, don't push it past 150. All you're going to do is get to a point you get stuck, and then you got to find the answer for why you're stuck. And diagnosing that may be harder than it sounds. Okay, probably is harder than it sounds. So, you just want to do the 150 until you can get the water rooms to where you're not losing any health. You don't want to push. You don't want to push because it's just too hard to catch up if you start pushing. Again, if you get to a point where you don't have to worry about the health of your titans from room to room, it's okay to push that envelope. I remember the first time I got 1,000. It was an amazing thing. And then I was warned. I was warned. My guildmaster said, it was really just to let you know, you don't want to keep pushing like that because you're going to get stuck. So really, you can go from 150 to nothing, to 10 or 15, if you push too fast. And then you got to back up and find out which Titan you're going to have to level up. Probably is going to be an artifact weapon that you're going to have to upgrade. But you gotta make it work. And so sometimes that's a little harder than others. And you cannot really ask somebody unless you tell them the problem. What I mean by that, it's hard to diagnose the problem if somebody doesn't see it. At least for me. Okay, if somebody says, I'm stuck in the nature rooms, okay? My first response would be, don't do very many nature rooms if you don't have to. Because Angus is hard to level, and so I would recommend against it until you get him to a point he can hold his own. There is a point that he can hold his own. So that is what you got to look at. There is a point that Angus can hold his own. You got to get him there. And he's, in my opinion, at least in my experience, he is rather hard to level, in my experience. All right, so we're kind of in a place here. I really need her to have a little more health. I don't need her to survive, but I need her to have a little bit more health. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll switch out somebody, probably Iari, in order to get her healed all the way back up. Do you have to have her to win the Earth Titan rooms? No. but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt, and that is something that's just how I play. This is how I play, and that's what this video is about. How do you play the dungeon? This is how I play it. You know, I do this every day. This is how I do the dungeon. Um, and because there's a balancing act, right? Because if you start losing heroes, if you start losing heroes, then you're not going to be able to get very far in the dungeon. And so there is a balancing act. Um, I don't use, so the only light titan I use right now is Yari. There are times when I am negligent. Oh, I need him in there. And I use Sigurd too low. I'll put Brewster in there. But I try not to do that. I try just to use the elemental titans and to go through the dungeon. Now, in fighting terms, that is the opposite. When you talk about fighting titans, titan fighting, I would not level very many titans that are elemental to fight, because if somebody has the right team, they will mow them down. Like if I see a 700 level elemental titan line up in GC, I'm going to use Brewster, Araji, Iyari, Hyperion, and Tenebris. And even at 500 and something, they will wipe them clean. They don't have a chance. And so that is what I do. But I know if I see a 700, it can be a really high 700, and mine are 500 something. I'm eating them because they just don't last. And a lot of it is the light and dark titans. The light and dark titans they all have crowns, light crown, dark crown, that protects them from elemental titans. Many of them have weapons that give increased defense or attack to titans, elemental titans, and so it's just not profitable for me to do that. So I don't use a lot of elemental titans in my competitively the Titan fight. But basically, this is what I do. Like I said, I mean, I can manually do the Earth Titans. I could do that. But what would I gain? I mean, I'm already at what, 5 something, 612 of the Titanite, and my guild might need me to do a little bit more, and I can do a little bit more if I need to, if I want to. Don't have to. So here's one. It's just gonna be a free play. They're all, like I said, they're all juiced up, ready to go in the next match, and we'll just go run them. And like I said, and a lot of it just really depends on. It really just depends on the room selection next. I'll tell you this: if I chose 3 or 4, when that's happened, 3 or 4 Earth Titans in a row, Iraji's gonna die, and I can do about that. Not Raji, Angus will die. I'm thinking too many things, but Angus will die. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't bring him back, and so you want to make sure they're just they're just good. Or if I have three or four fire titans in a row, Iraji will die. Um, so I mean that's basically it. I mean, I'm at 708, um, and I'm cruising. So like I said, you want to just make sure. I'm going to actually just do that water room. You want to get the water again where you're not losing any energy, or possibly gaining health rather, and running that way. You only want to start doing 150 at a time. That way you don't get bombarded with getting stuck and trying to back up and make somebody stronger, particularly if you don't know who it is you need to make stronger. By getting the water titans in the second place, you have a lot more options, a lot more rooms that you're going to be able to use them in, and that just helps you in the long run. So basically, and like I said, by the end of the video, what I want you to know is it has taken me years to get here. Okay, so this is not a you're going to do this overnight. And I've tried a lot of things. I failed at a lot of things. There's no quick fix unless you drop a bunch of money. And I don't want to do that. I don't want you to feel like you have to either. But it will take a long time. Um, Now there's a lot more Titan events than there used to be. Maximize those events. Like we know that there is a Titan um, tournament of power coming up, and so what you want to do is maximize that event for you. You don't have to win that event, but there are things, and they may not, and the rewards may be minimal at best as far as what you're gaining every day. But you know what? It's something you didn't have to pay for. And so, and that is something to look at. If you want to learn how to play games like this, you got to get a strategy down that will allow you to play games like this. Because if you click on that button to play a game to earn emeralds through Tapjoy, which I find is the best way to get emeralds, if you do that, you got to know how to play these games in order to get emeralds. If you pick a game like not even though it's not like Hero Wars, but like Puzzles and Chaos, the same type of things that make you successful in this game will make you successful in those other games. You just have to learn the tricks. You gotta learn. You gotta learn the how to make it work, how to make it work for you, and that is the most important thing. I'll go to 1,000 and then we'll call it a day. Probably I think it's like 1058 or something. But you want to make sure you're able to do that. Now even this, I'm not worried about that with Nova because we got Hyperion and Sigurd. They both heal. Boom. See, full heal. Um, so you learn how to play the games, and then you're going to be able to maximize. What I did at the beginning is I did not know, and there were things that I really messed up and got behind, and it was really hard to start figuring some things out. Then I was getting a lot of things figured out, and I joined another guild, or actually our guilds merged, and I learned a lot from that guild master, and he really helped me learn how to put some more of these things together, and so that's the reason why I like making videos is show you this gameplay, what I can, what I learned to do and how I learned to do it. Not bragging. I mean, there's no bragging here. I learned like everybody else has learned. Today I got 1,032. The other day I got 449. You got to have a strategy, work the strategy, find one that works for you. So that's how I run the dungeon. You can see I got a little bit more gold, which is good. Gold's always good. What does that mean? It means that I can level up my Titans by using fairy dust, and it also means that I can It also means that I can, the next hero comes out, um, I can do all their skills. So basically, I just realized my headphones were not plugged in. I made 3 videos today. My headphones not plugged in, so the quality may not be the best, and I'm sorry about that, guys. But basically, you find a plan, you work the plan, you'll get some gold. You'll not have to worry about it when you can get in the dungeon. That won't even be an issue. Okay, guys, if you like videos like this, like the video. If you have any more suggestions on how to make this better, leave that down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done that yet. Hit that bell notification so you know when I send out a video. And until next time, we'll catch you in the arena.